Hi everyone, Vincent here, and you may have recently noticed, but on my community tab, I posted this infographic titled Attraction Advice. Now, it doesn't matter if you haven't seen it on my community tab, because the point of today's video is we're going to be discussing exactly what it means. So if you are interested in these type of infographics, I have a lot of them now on my community tab, where you can check them out and comment, etc. or whatnot. But I thought I would go through and explain what this particular infographic represents, because yes, for some of you it might seem fairly straightforward or obvious, but for others there might be some confusion. Either way, let's just try and explain it and give you the attraction advice, which really, I hope, could help you. Whether this is trying to attract a new person into your life, a specific person, maybe even an ex. All of this can help you be seen as a more attractive person. So it highlights 5 key principles for developing magnetic presence and building genuine connections with people. So like I said, it doesn't matter who exactly you want to try and attract. This will just heighten your attractiveness. It will heighten that magnetic presence about you and give you a better chance of attracting that person. Of course, it can't guarantee that it will attract a specific person, but it gives you the best possible chance of doing so by raising the levels of your attractiveness. So point number 1 is build a life that generates natural energy. So first of all, let's look in the top left box. So within the infographic, it says, build a life that generates natural energy. Now this means pursuing interests, hobbies, and skills that genuinely excite you. So this is where you may have heard me in podcasts suggest that you join classes, groups, and clubs. It doesn't obviously have to time those things specifically, but if you want to join a class, group, or club, you are very likely to develop a skill, for instance, and it could be, and hopefully, something which excites you. Now, maybe this isn't something that you attend in that regard, but still, it needs to be something that you have passion about. Because when you're passionate and curious about your life, that natural energy makes you more engaging and attractive to others. So if we look at it in that regard, we want to try and attract people, but we need to actually be someone that they're going to find interesting to be around. So it goes without saying, if you have more strings to your bow, if you have that curiosity of life, if you have hobbies and interests, if you gain skills, if you feel excited for life, that is going to make you more attractive to other people. Because to break it down in its most kind of basic form, otherwise, if you don't do this, you potentially run the risk of being seen as boring. And that obviously isn't attractive. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be all singing and all dancing and doing 100 different hobbies every week. But what I am saying is, and hopefully it will come clear in your mind as you think and you hear me describe it, is that obviously if you've got more going on in your life, you're going to be someone who has more to speak about, more tales to tell, more skills within your skill set. You're just going to be someone who is a better fit potentially when they are looking for a romantic option. So now let's consider point number 2, and that is lead with warmth. So next, in the orange box below that, now let's consider what this is saying. Lead with warmth. Now this encourages you to show friendliness through your expressions, curiosity, and the way you talk to people. And this is really important. Now, I understand some of you might be listening to this and thinking, wait a minute, I've been told don't fall into the friend zone. And yes, there is that fine line. If you want to attract somebody romantically, of course, you don't want them as a platonic friend, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be friendly. You need to be warm, you need to be welcoming, smiling, using people's names. That is a big one which has been proven through research. And asking thoughtful questions. These are the types of small gestures which help others feel seen, valued, and comfortable with you. So like I said, this isn't about accidentally tripping up and falling into the friend zone. No, it's about being someone that others, in essence, feel safe with, feel drawn to. It also, in a way, links into the concept I hear a lot of people describing to me, where they say, well, wait a minute, don't nice guys finish last? And by the way, this isn't just aimed at men, this is aimed at men and women. But to use that quite famous term, do nice guys finish last? It's not the fact that a guy or anyone being nice is unattractive. Okay, quite the opposite. If you're a horrible person, you are not going to be able to attract somebody, certainly not in the long term. Unfortunately, though, people who have overly nice traits, quote unquote nice guys, often follow that up with some beta male traits. It's really important that we have that friendliness, yes, but we also marry it up with different attractive traits, and depending whether you're a man or a woman, masculine or feminine, depending on the type of person you are trying to attract, obviously there will be those extra layers. But the base level of being a good person, the base level of being a friendly person, the base level of being someone that others feel comfortable with, that is universally attractive. So don't worry about falling into the friend zone. Don't worry about finishing last because you are smiling at someone and quote unquote being nice. No, this is just something you need to do, okay? So don't be afraid to lead with warmth. Now, the third point is show self-respect through your appearance. This isn't about being flashy, okay? It's about communicating care and confidence. So, wearing clean, well-fitted clothes, grooming regularly, and having open, relaxed body language, that's what shows that you are respecting yourself. Because if you don't respect yourself, how on earth can you expect anybody to respect you? Having great, 100% perfect as much as you can personal hygiene is something to focus on absolutely. If you do all of these things, if you respect yourself, this encourages others to respect you. Now, often nowadays, you might hear people say, well, attracting someone is not just about physical attraction, it's about other things as well. And although, obviously, as we've even been touching upon, yes, there are other elements to attraction, I believe it is quite silly, to say that physical attraction doesn't count. It absolutely does. For the vast majority of people, physical attraction is vital in a romantic relationship. I know it's not the case in 100% of people, but I would say a huge majority. I don't have the stats, but I dare say 90% or more would put it as absolutely vital. So with that being said, we need to be focusing on our appearance. We need to try and be attractive physically. Also, as I said, the way we smell, the way we present ourselves with body language, all of these things and more will increase the chance of you being able to attract the person that you want to. So now let's move into point number 4, which is be emotionally easy to be around. And this involves maintaining a balanced, authentic presence. You can use humor, okay? Often people say, well, I attracted this other person due to my sense of humor because I could make them laugh. So that is absolutely a real dynamic that you could and probably should be focusing on. Be honest about who you are. Don't lie. Lying is not going to help you. It will catch up with you. And when it does, it makes you look awful. Okay, they can't trust you. And make sure that you handle conflict calmly as possible. Because people are naturally drawn to someone who feels safe, stable, and most importantly, I would say, grounded. Now, let's move into that point number 5. And that is creating social gravity. So finally, that purple box on the bottom right. Create social gravity. Now, this means taking initiative socially, starting conversations, making plans, and bringing positive energy into the room. Okay? Because when you become the person who connects others, your presence becomes naturally more attractive. It's called social proofing. It's the concept that others want to be with you, and hence you must be good. So in conclusion, I would say overall, the infographic that I have created teaches that attraction isn't really about tricks. It's about becoming a grounded, warm, confident version of yourself. And I really hope that these 5 habits help you build authentic connections and have a magnetic presence.